Welcome to Cybersecurity Stories. I am your host, Cyber Sally, and I will be guiding you through today's topic. No matter where you are, cruising the highway, sneaking in some work time listening, shh, I won't tell your boss, or whipping up a gourmet dish, I've got the captivating tales that'll become the soundtrack to your day. Give that subscribe button a click. It means the world. Now then, ready for some electrifying tales? Chapter 1: The All-Seeing Eye. In the heart of Beijing, a vast network of cameras looms over the crowded streets. These aren't mere traffic cameras, they are the eyes of the dragon, a massive state-driven apparatus. The Wikipedia page on mass surveillance in China reveals how this network is deeply entrenched, not just in public spaces, but throughout the digital realm. Every click, search, comment, and interaction is observed, filtered, and, if necessary, erased. Chapter 2: The Great Digital Wall. In the modern era, China's ancient Great Wall has a digital counterpart, the Golden Shield Project. While the original wall defended against Mongol invaders, the digital wall guards against foreign internet influences and undesirable domestic chatter. It's a firewall of unparalleled sophistication, scrutinizing data, censoring topics, and even rewriting digital history in real time. Chapter 3: Behold the Ledger. But surveillance isn't merely about watching, it's about control. Enter China's social credit system, an Orwellian endeavor that aims to quantify the trustworthiness of its 1.4 billion citizens. This system rewards and penalizes, offering perks for model citizens and imposing restrictions on those who deviate. It's a behavioral shaping tool, nudging the masses towards government-approved actions. Chapter 4: Whispers in Cyberspace. Yet, beneath the surface of this surveillance state, murmurs of discontent echo. In the hidden corners of the Chinese internet, netizens use coded language, memes, and allegories to voice their dissent. They've transformed the digital space into a modern-day forbidden city, using creativity to sidestep the ever-vigilant censors. Chapter 5: Eroding Histories. Jin, a history professor, recalls a controversial event he wanted to discuss in his class. Searching for it online, he found no direct references. The Tiananmen Square protests, a significant piece of Chinese history, seemed wiped from the digital realm. The censors had efficiently erased the uncomfortable past, leaving generations in oblivion. Chapter 6: The Melody of Dissonance music, a universal form of expression, isn't spared either. Indie bands with lyrics alluding to freedom, democracy, or even veiled critiques of the establishment find their tracks removed. Concerts get cancelled, and artists mysteriously disappear from streaming platforms. The silence left in their absence, however, resonates louder than their music ever did. Chapter 7: Black Mirror. Realized Liu, a young professional in Shanghai, once participated in a peaceful demonstration. Since then, her social credit score plummeted. Now, she's barred from premium schools for her child, fast train travel, and even luxury hotels. She embodies the eerie reality of Black Mirror's predictive episodes, a life constantly under scrutiny, where one's choices, past and present, continually shape their future under the watchful gaze of the state. Chapter 8: Ephemeral Freedoms. VPN. 3 letters that offer a fleeting glimpse of the world beyond the wall. Many Chinese citizens use virtual private networks to bypass the stringent state filters. But the dragon adapts. Frequent crackdowns on VPN providers, arrests, and heavy fines ensure that this window to the world remains but a tiny crack. Chapter 9: The Quiet Resistance. Yet for every measure, there's a countermeasure. The sheer human ingenuity to find a voice against overwhelming odds shines through. From hidden online forums to coded language, from underground book clubs discussing forbidden literature to flash mobs that disperse before authorities can react, the spirit of resistance thrives in quiet corners. Chapter 10: A Future Unwritten. The echoes of the silent dragon are a chilling reminder of the double-edged sword of technology. As AI, facial recognition, and data analytics advance, the potential for an even more invasive state looms large, but so does the indomitable human spirit. As China stands on the cusp of global leadership, its people grapple with the realities of an increasingly connected yet surveilled world. Their story, unfolding in real time, is both a cautionary tale and an ode to resilience. In a world oscillating between the need for security and the longing for freedom, the echoes of the silent dragon force the reader to confront an unsettling question. At what point does the price of safety overshadow the value of liberty? Before we delve deeper beyond the narrative into a comparative analysis, make sure you like and subscribe to our channel to stay tuned for more content. Now let's get back to the video, shall we? So, it becomes evident that the nuances of surveillance across different nations can have profound implications for their citizens. Now the large question remains, what are the effects on a country's citizens? Let's compare China and the United States. 1. Psychological impact. China. The pervasive nature of surveillance can result in a population that is constantly self-aware and self-censoring. There's a subconscious understanding that one is always being watched, leading to a phenomenon often referred to as the panopticon effect. Over time, citizens may internalize these monitoring mechanisms, leading to reduced expressions of dissent or individualism. US. Although surveillance in the US is not as omnipresent or overt as in China, revelations such as those from Edward Snowden about the NSA's monitoring activities can create a sense of unease. However, the US government often justifies this by emphasizing its focus on preventing domestic terrorism. The psychological impact is arguably less pronounced than in China, but concerns about privacy and individual rights remain. 2. Freedom of expression and innovation. China. The strict controls and censorship can stifle innovation and creativity. When individuals fear repercussions for thinking outside the box or challenging prevailing norms, there's less motivation for disruptive or groundbreaking ideas. US. While the US touts freedom of expression as a fundamental right, concerns about surveillance can still put a damper on certain forms of expression, especially if they might be perceived as extremist or a threat to national security. However, the US does offer more platforms and protections for diverse voices. 3. Trust in government. China. The social credit system and heavy surveillance might lead to citizens being outwardly compliant, but such measures can erode trust in the government. On the other hand, some citizens may appreciate the perceived order and safety these measures bring. US. Trust issues also exist in the US, especially post-revelations about covert surveillance programs. The key difference is that US citizens have more avenues for redress, such as courts and a relatively free press, to challenge perceived oversteps. 4. National security and crime. China. The Chinese government justifies its surveillance apparatus as a means to ensure stability and security. In many ways, it has been effective in quickly quashing threats and maintaining public order. US. The US surveillance program, especially the parts dedicated to countering domestic terrorism, has arguably thwarted numerous threats. The US emphasizes a balance between individual rights and collective security, though debates about where this balance lies are ongoing. 5. International relations and image. China. China's surveillance model, especially when coupled with its influence, can be a template for other nations looking for stricter controls over their population. However, it also receives criticism for human rights concerns, impacting its global image. US. America's surveillance activities, particularly those that have spied on allies, have caused diplomatic strains. However, the US often faces less criticism than China due to its advocacy for democratic processes and human rights. 6. Economic impacts. China. While surveillance has tightened control, China's tech giants like Huawei and TikTok have faced international skepticism due to perceived ties or obligations to this surveillance state. US. Concerns about privacy have spurred a cottage industry of encrypted communication tools and privacy-focused tech solutions. Furthermore, US-based tech giants like Google and Facebook face scrutiny both domestically and internationally for their data collection practices, albeit for economic, rather than overtly state surveillance purposes. In conclusion, while both nations employ surveillance for the purported aim of protecting their citizens and maintaining order, the scale, intent, and methods differ. China's system is more encompassing, focusing on both political stability and social order, whereas the US emphasizes its efforts on preventing threats, especially terrorism. The effects on citizens in each context vary, with Chinese citizens potentially experiencing more overt control, and Americans grappling with subtler implications on privacy and civil liberties. The global debate on surveillance continues, with nations watching both China and the US closely as potential models for their own policies. Thank you for watching. We hope that we provided an intriguing story. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.